This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important update to share with you. 2 new inflation relief checks going out to low-income Americans. One for $400, another for $500. I'll give you the details on that. President Biden gives a speech on what good news is to come for Americans. I'll play you a short clip of that. We'll also hear from the Republicans what is going to be changing in America for the better, according to Representative Jim Jordan, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So I want to get your opinion on this first. So Thanksgiving feast inflation has shoppers choosing chicken over turkey. With inflation for Thanksgiving this year, it's at 20% higher. I'm really curious. Are you going to go for chicken or are you going to go for turkey? Let us know down in the comments below. Personally, I think chicken is a little bit, tastier. Not as dry. I guess maybe it depends how you cook it. But what it's saying here, a holiday spread of 12 items serving 10 people is estimated to run a whopping $64 this year, a 20% spike from $53.31 just last year. So really curious, you going chicken or turkey? Moving forward, more than 68,000 low-income New Jersey families will get $500 this month as part of stimulus aid. So looks like $500 checks going to low-income families in the mail this month if they were not eligible for the federal stimulus help and filed taxes with an individual tax identification number or ITIN. So looks like $500 checks in New Jersey, and then low-income households to receive $400 assistance checks. So this is going on in New Mexico, and looks like the economic assistance was granted to those who have the lowest income and applied to receive payments through the YESNM portal. So it looks like $400 checks were issued earlier this week by direct deposit or check and still going out, and applications are no longer accepted for that. That's New Mexico. And then Biden meets with business labor leaders to highlight inflation progress, basically saying things are getting better, but are they? I guess if you're a business owner, things are always pretty good if you have enough money. But take a look at what President Biden has to say here.
I want to thank you, all of you, for joining today. I just got back from an overseas trip where I spoke in Egypt at the COP27, the United Nations Climate Conference, and then to the leaders of the ASEAN countries in Cambodia. We also met with Indo-Pacific allies, including a trilateral meeting with Japan and the Republic of Korea, and with President Xi in Bali, as well as the leaders of the G20 and the countries with many of the largest economies in the world. It was clear to me, and I think to most people in those meetings, that the United States is as well or better positioned than any nation in the world to lead the world on the economy in the years ahead. And there's a strong sense from all the leaders of the world of the strength of the American economy. And we've seen the willingness to want to work together, and also here at home. We had an extraordinary 2 years of progress from the American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the CHIPS and Science Act. But what I'm most excited about is that people are starting to see the impact of these legislative achievements in their own lives. We're just getting started. We passed them this year, but now they're really going to kick into effect. It's going to accelerate in the months ahead. And the implementation of these legislative achievements is going to be one of the key parts of the success, I believe, for the economy. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring us together today. I've called together a group of labor leaders and business leaders to discuss progress in building the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. And they've been partners in creating the jobs of the future and in building a world-class workplace ready to compete to fill those jobs. And our approach, I believe, is working. The economy grew at 2.6% last quarter, while inflation started to slow and unemployment stayed low. But what do these economic statistics really mean to people? Well, here's what they mean, in my view. We've added jobs every single month of my presidency, more than 10 million jobs total. 700,000 of them were manufacturing jobs. Inflation at the grocery store is coming down slightly. Prices for things like clothes and television and appliances are going down as well as we head into the holidays. This week we saw the growth in prices in business pay for goods and services to come down as well. Gas prices are down, but it's going to take time to get inflation back to normal levels as we keep our job market strong so we could see setbacks along the way. I don't doubt that, but thus far we're in good shape. But we're laser focused on that.
What are your thoughts there? Is there an upside for businesses? What about the rest of Americans who are struggling? Should there be an upside for them as well, despite being told things are going to get better? Let me know your thoughts on that. Speaking of things getting better, now that Republicans are running the House, a lot of big promises, a lot of talk is happening. What is going to be done? Take a look at what Representative Jim Jordan has to say.
And joining me right now with insights on the party's new leadership and its immediate priorities is House Judiciary Ranking Member, soon to be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee and a member of the House Oversight Committee as well. Jim Jordan is here. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here this weekend.
Good you bet. Good to be with you.
So we just heard Kevin McCarthy, some questions about whether or not he'll make it over the finish line, with Andy Biggs telling Fox that he doesn't have the votes. Who will be the Speaker of the House, and what are your expectations for the leadership coming up in the House?
Well, I think it'll be Kevin McCarthy. Look, I said all along that the guy who gets you to the Super Bowl gets to coach the game. And understand, over the last two cycles, Republicans have picked up seats in the House. And of course, now we're in the majority, and we will get to chair the committees. We will get to do the work that the American people have elected us to do. I do think it's interesting, too. Remember just a couple years ago, Maria, when Democrats were saying that they were going to turn Texas blue? Well, Texas is red, Florida's really red, Ohio is red, and frankly, it looks like New York and California are getting a lot less blue, because those are the states that actually where we elected new people that put us in the majority. I think no one seems to focus on that, because we didn't quite do what we thought we were going to do overall in the election. But we still won the House, and let's come together and realize that whatever differences exist between the more moderate members in the House and conservative folks like you and I, they pale in comparison to the differences between Republicans and the radical left, which now runs the Democrat Party, which has given us the chaos and the craziness we've seen over the last 21 months.
Yeah, it's a lot of fires to put out, that's for sure. So you've talked about your priorities. You and James Comer gave a press conference on Thursday about the investigation into the Biden family and influence peddling. Tell me about that, and tell me what you're looking to get to.
Well, we're looking to get to the truth and the facts, and I think probably what happened this week was probably the first time the Washington Press Corps actually heard the facts about the Hunter Biden and the Biden family business operation. Probably the first time they actually had to report the facts, and probably the first time that they actually realized this wasn't a Russian disinformation operation. This was all true clear back in October of 2020 when the story first broke about the laptop. But for me, the overarching concern is the Justice Department that is political. And there's not a question about that. Now, we know that is the case. They're a political operation. We've learned that from whistleblowers. And the connection between the political nature of the Justice Department and this Hunter Biden story, I think, is a real concern, because we know the FBI was involved in going to Facebook in October of 2020 and telling Facebook to be on the lookout for Russian misinformation, disinformation. And they did that at the same time that these 51 former intel officials released that letter that said the Hunter Biden story has all the earmarks of Russian misinformation. So that linkage between the political nature of the FBI to this story and suppressing that and using that to throttle back that story so the American people couldn't get information, I think that is a big concern, because it fits in with this broader concern I have, which is a Justice Department that is not treating people equally under the law and operating in a political fashion.
Let's zero in here on the Biden family business and this influence peddling investigation that you and James Comer will be continuing, because my worry is the fact that the Communist Party of China is inside the gates of America, and they have infiltrated this country in so many ways, from, honeypots to people like Eric Swalwell and other lawmakers in California, to, putting entrapment schemes in place. Congressman, what are you going to do to connect the dots that taking money from officials of adversarial countries is a national security threat?
Well, the first thing we need is actually access to the suspicious activity reports. These are reports that banks and financial institutions send to the Treasury Department when they see suspicious activity. The committee has only been able to see 2. We know there are 150, so we'd like to see the other 148. So I think that is step one. And it should tell us something that the Biden administration has changed the policy. It used to be in previous administrations, whether it was with Bush, Obama, with President Trump, committees could have access to suspicious activity reports. But now, for the first time, the Biden administration has said, no, time out. So, first of all, they won't comply with any requests we have for information that Mr. Comer has sent to the White House or to the folks involved in this. They won't comply with that, which is sort of kind of the norm, I guess, from many White Houses, is they're reluctant to comply with the opposing party asking for information. But then they changed the suspicious activity report process and protocols. That's never happened before.
That's right.
And now we learn they've set up a special group the Democrats have to go after people who are investigating this issue. So I think that's kind of sends a signal in and of itself that maybe there is something there. And we tried to point out a number of these facts at the press conference earlier this week.
We appreciate your time and your leadership on all of that. Thank you, sir.
So I'm curious your thoughts. Never really spoke about Hunter Biden's laptop. Seems to be a top priority for Republican representatives such as Jim Jordan, as well as other Republicans. I'm curious, Hunter Biden's laptop, important issue, not important issue? Should it be pursued, not pursued? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Hi guys, how are you doing? I want to give you 3 things of the tip of the day. So first off, be happy, be grateful, and be humble. And then I want to do one more thing to you. Do the things that you want to do in a lifetime. Guys, you guys can do whatever you want, at least if you want to do it. Because I'm here for you. You guys like us.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So yesterday was Bella's swim meet. I think she did great, for not feeling 100%. She was still a little bit sick, so I think she was lagging a little bit. But yeah, I think she did great. Really proud of her for doing it. And I think she has one more swim meet next month. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out Bella's latest video on Bella's own YouTube channel, you could click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.